for the first time ever, Greater Manchester now has an elected mayor, and that was part of this devolution discussion that you were part of. But maybe we should start 17 years ago or so. Tony Blair, Prime Minister at the time, decided that London needed an elected mayor. What can you tell us about that? You're the opposite side. You're a civil servant who led a city for 19 years. And one of the advantages, you were talking about the need for a long-term perspective. A civil servant can bring those long-term perspective. A short-term mayor, sometimes like Boston's former Mayor Menino, who served as long as you did, you can have that long-term perspective in an elected leader, but often they find themselves chasing the nearest electoral cycle. From your perspective, was it clearly obvious that it was the right thing to move from civil servants to elected mayors?
I think the debate in this country has evolved on elected mayors. When the initial soundings around mayors were not relevant, it's certainly in Manchester's case. We didn't need a mayor of Manchester. Whatever one thinks of Manchester, I don't think Manchester lacked leadership.
No one has ever accused you of that, sir. That's
either by me or more particularly by the political leader of Manchester, Sir Richard Lees. But a metro mayor, we always thought, was different because the metro Manchester is 2.7, 2.8 million people, 10 individual local authorities. There had been a platform and a culture of collaboration and joint working amongst those 10 local authorities for 20 years or more. But it was clear to some of us that if we were going to be able to succeed in the argument for greater levels of fiscal and functional devolution to be exercised at Greater Manchester level rather than at Westminster or Whitehall government level, then we needed to be able to discharge the direct accountability test. And in those terms, I think a mayor was appropriate in Greater Manchester.
What was crucial in the devolution debate? Why did the central authorities decide to give up power and create a local mayor?
I think a crucial moment was an Manchester Independent Economic Review, which was published in 2009, and it brought in a lot of independent experts.
The overall conclusion, if I recall, was, probably 5, 6 out of 10. You're doing okay, but you should be doing better. You should be focusing more on your distinctive sectors. You should be driving the innovation agenda more. You should be doing more to galvanise business, to penetrate international markets. You should be challenging your government more about the importance of devolution.
And the fact that it was such a very substantial piece of proper economics helped persuade the Treasury, which is a key gatekeeper in these discussions, that okay, there is enough capacity in Manchester, they can be trusted to have a little bit more power than has been the case before. And so that was one crucial element and helped persuade the Whitehall bureaucracy. And the other thing was just political, actually, and having a chancellor in George Osborne in the previous government who saw the possibility and had the political vision that he put enough muscle behind it.
And he knew Manchester, right? I mean,
He was an MP for an area just south of the city. Right. He's not born and bred in Manchester, but absolutely bought into the idea of creating another dynamo of the economy apart from London and the southeast. And that idea that you can have a much more productive and successful economy nationally if you're firing on more than one engine, not just the one of them.
Right. It is of course, remarkable from an American perspective, right? The extent to which London is such a dominant city in the UK.
UK is exceptional among the developed economies and how centralised it has become.
I think overall, I'm the area which it gives me the greatest satisfaction is the devolution debate, because I think there's lots of examples of wonderful buildings. Manchester has been transformed physically, but the devolution debate, I believe, is the key to unlocking the door about how we ensure all the people who live in Manchester are able to share in that success, and rethinking and redefining that constitutional relationship between the centre and local places, I believe is pivotal to achieving that objective.